of stories every day. Some are just heart-wrenching. Like the one I heard the other day, that a 24-year-old man raped a year-old child in South Africa. How is that possible? Our guest today is one amazing woman who has taken it upon herself to rehabilitate these abused children. Her name is Mrs. Itoro Eze. My name is Edak. Willie. See you shortly. Welcome back to our program. Itoro, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad to see you here today.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Tell us more about yourself.
My name is Itoro Eze, as already mentioned. I'm a lawyer, but I also work in the human rights community. I'm the managing partner of a local non-governmental organization known as Partnership for Justice. We are based in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay. So what exactly do you do?
Well, one of the major programs that we do is a Gender Justice Project. And under that Gender Justice Project, we have opened a sexual assault referral center called the Mirabel Center. The Mirabel Center is a safe place where survivors and victims of sexual assault and rape can come and receive free medical treatment. They also receive free counseling services. It's a place where they can walk into and feel safe, a place where they know that they can be believed, a place where they're not discriminated against.
So how did you get into this work?
Well, I grew up very conscious of the fact that women around me suffer from different kinds of abuses, either domestic violence or, traditional practices like female genital mutilation and all that. But I grew up with a mother that never allowed those kinds of, traditional practices to influence her or affect her. And so I grew up feeling very empowered that I didn't need to go through anything. I didn't need to be discriminated against. And when I finished my university program, I came across a woman that was working on issues of trafficking. And I became more interested in issues that affected women, because I believe that if it affects one woman, it affects all the women. Yes. And as a woman, I believe that I could do something about a lot of the issues that are affecting women, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world.
That's right. When did you start?
We opened the Mirabel Center on July 1, 2013. But before we opened the center, we had 1 full month of training programs. We had to train about 30 medical doctors and nurses on how to offer carry out forensic medical examination when the clients walk into the center. We call them clients, we don't call them victims or survivors. So we got a forensic medical examiner from UK to train the doctors and nurses that will work at that center, and the training lasted for 2 weeks. Then following that, we also had another 2 weeks training for counselors to give them the specialized skill that will enable them to provide the free services or counseling services to the clients that walk into the center. So the staff at the center are specially trained to provide medical and psychosocial services to the clients that walk into the center.
So how has the response been? What has the response been like since you started?
It's been amazing, actually, because in the first instance, we're working very closely with the police. So the police are actually sending referrals to us to provide services for the survivors that go to the police station. And some also walk into the center. Some people walk into the center, and the hospital itself also refers, clients to our center, because the center is located at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. So the response has been amazing. When we opened on July 1, 2013 this year, we were a bit apprehensive. We didn't make noise about it. We just opened it to see what the response would be like, without any kind of publicity until the month of November. So between July 1 and last week Friday, we've had 140 clients walk into the center to receive free medical and counseling services.
So what kind of people do you see, or the age group? What is the age group like?
Well, we've had people from all kinds of ages, but primarily between 0 age to 20. That's the age. But predominantly, the clients we receive at the center are between the ages of 11 and 15. That's the highest number of people that come in there.
11 to 15?
Yes, between 11 and 15 years old. We've had 0 ages. We've had people that are children under, that are just in months.
Can you share some of the cases that you've come across that maybe it's like mind-blowing? 0 age, I don't understand.
Well, we've had a child that is not up to 1 year old coming to receive treatment. We've had a child that is just 18 months, a year and 6 months. We've had cases of children that are just 2 years old.
0 is a baby?
Yes, it's a baby.
That is under the mother's care?
Exactly.
So what happened?
We've had a case where the mother gives the baby to somebody she's living with in the same home and says, take care of this baby, I want to enter the bathroom. And then she comes out of the bathroom and the baby has been violated within those 10 to 15 minutes that she entered the bathroom. We've had the case of a child about 2 years old that was abused by a female teacher in the school. We've had, yes.
A female teacher?
Yes, a female teacher abused a
boy?
A girl, a young girl, a small girl of 2 years old that was in her care and in the school. And the girl was so articulate that despite all efforts to intimidate her and tell her, she didn't change her story. She stuck to it. She mentioned the teacher's name all over, every time she was asked, she told the same story of what happened. And the teacher, it's mind-blowing, but the teacher actually used a spoon to violate her. It's incredible.
What was that?
I don't know. But that's what we see. We've had a case of, there's a girl walked into the center, and it happened that...
Please hold the thought. Let's take a break. We'll be back after this.
There's plaque in everybody's mouth. It forms every day. That is why we need to clean daily.
Back pain can be said to be a result of wear and tear.
Yeah, that's the
Raise one leg up and then try and pull it to your chest. Your head down. Just relax.
Some of these infections, particularly like tetanus right now, it's something where if the mother is immunized, the child is actually protected for the first 3 months.
Medicine from your kitchen. Today I want to share one tip with you, how you can use your coconut as medicine. Hi, my name is Edak, Willie. If you want to know how to stay healthy and fabulous, join me every week. A teacher actually used a spoon on a baby.
Yes, that was the experience we had at the center sometime a few months back.
And what was her explanation when she was called? This teacher, what did she say?
Well, we did, since we don't work with the perpetrators, we work more with the clients that come into the center.
So
but
how are the perpetrators punished?
Well, that's the duty of the police.
Have you ever had any case that they've been punished?
Yes. To prove the case of rape, it's in Nigeria it's a very long process, a very difficult process, because in the first instance you have to start with the police that will do the investigation. Are they adequately equipped to do the investigation? Are they mentally trained to understand the issues? Do they know how the perpetrator, how the clients feel? What are they looking for when it comes to investigating the case of rape? Is it just the medical examination that determines whether there was rape or not? And on the other hand, who writes the medical examination? We have discovered that in some hospitals, it's not actually the doctor that examined the victim that writes the medical report. And so that's a very serious flaw in the whole process. If it's not the doctor that examined the victim that writes the medical report, then what is the other doctor writing when you didn't actually see or examine the client? So the police has its own duty to do, but where the police believes that it is a medical examination that determines whether there was rape or not, then that is very, very wrong, because even when you go to the police a month or 2 or 3 after the incident, the police should be equipped to investigate that matter and prosecute that matter.
So in the case that there's evidence, it can be it's proven that the rape actually took place, what kind of punishment do these people get?
Well, in Lagos State now, it's life imprisonment for rape. So if it's successfully prosecuted and judgment is given by a court of competent jurisdiction, then the sentence will be life imprisonment. That was a change in the law that took place recently under the present administration. So that is okay, but having the law in place is one thing, but actually engaging that process to get to the extent of having a conviction is another story entirely.
We know that most times young girls are always victims. Do you see cases of boys being raped too?
Yes, we've had a case. One boy has come into our center and he was raped by another man. So under the law, that's sodomy, and that's illegal. So he came into our center and he was counseled, and the counseling wasn't just for him, it was also for members of his family, because the way your family members respond to the incident goes a long way to determine how fast you heal from the trauma of rape or sexual assault.
These victims, do they actually get over it? Do they get over it at all?
Well, cases vary, you know. Some get over it fast, some don't get over it. Some, like a girl that, you know, went out with somebody she knew and they were going for a meal. The perpetrator took her to a quiet corner in GRA and raped her, beat her up thoroughly, raped her both vaginally and anally, you know. And she was so traumatized. Just seeing the color of a car triggers the memory. Or even when she's a place that is very quiet, she just cannot stay in that place. So she needed to be counseled over and over and over again. So for some people, they just press it in their, you know, in their mind that, yeah, they suppress it. They just don't want it to determine how they live their lives. So they decide to ignore it, but they still remember it. But it's not just remembering, but how do you allow it to affect you? Do you allow it to determine what you do with the rest of your life? Or can you get over it at some point and decide, you know, I'm going to move on? But for them to actually move on, it's important for them to know that it is not their fault. Because if you think it's your fault, you continuously blame yourself. Why did I go there? Why did I do this? Why was I on that street at that time? But our experience has also shown that the belief that it's people that dress indecently, or that when you're on the street, that is when you get raped, that is not true. We have seen that more than 95% of the cases that come to the center are acquaintance rape. People they know, people they've interacted with. They are not strangers. So the fact that you're raped by somebody that jumps out of the bush and the person attacks you is a myth. It doesn't happen that way. The people you know, the people you interact with, the people that you laugh with, those uncles, they're human beings, yes. You know, for those children, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years old that are abused, there are those people they call uncles, people they know, cousins that live with you in the same house. Could be your father's brother, could be your father's cousin.
How about daddies? Do daddies rape?
Oh yes, they do. They do.
Like
Actually, it was a case of a father raping a young girl over the years that gave me the motivation to open that center. Because when I met her, then I was working on domestic violence bill. I had drafted a domestic violence bill that, you know, I campaigned for its passage into law in Lagos State and at the National Assembly and 12 other states in Nigeria. So in that process, I came across one girl in secondary school. She said to me that her father had repeatedly raped her in the house. And she went to her religious leader to report. The religious leader said it couldn't have happened. You're lying. Your father couldn't have done that because the father was supplying a lot of money to the church. So when I spoke with this girl, she was so traumatized, she didn't know where to go to because nobody believed her story. And so that was when I started thinking that victims of rape and sexual assault, they need a place where they can go to, where they can, tell their story in confidence, knowing that they will not be stigmatized.
And they'll get help.
They'll get help, at the same time. And so when they walk into the center, we first of all counsel them. But before you're counseled, you have to give your consent before you're counseled. Because the incident of rape takes away your decision-making powers. You did not take any decision to be raped. It was done, without your consent. So part of the healing process is for you to give your consent before anything can be done. It's your body, it's your right. So you give your consent. Do you want to undergo counseling services? Yes. Do you want to undergo medical examination? Yes. Do you want to report to we don't even ask. It's not our problem if you report to the police.
So medically, is there any treatment for them?
Well, when they come in, they check them from head to toe.
Okay.
Are there any physical wounds? Do they have sexually transmitted diseases? How is the pelvic? We've had somebody whose pelvic, the whole area was actually, destroyed, and she had to undergo surgery.
A grown woman or a child?
A child, a minor. So she had to undergo surgery. How old? She's in her teens. She's in her teens.
Pelvic, as in dislocation or?
Because she contracted diseases, and it was not treated on time. So there was a lot of infection that actually affected that whole area.
When the rape happened, she didn't say anything, so she
yes, she did. But at times it might just happen and then you feel discomfort or something, and then you go to the chemist, you buy Panadol, and you take it and you feel good, the pains have gone. You don't know what has happened, inside. We've had a case of a young girl that came in. She had been hired out by her father to her uncle. Oh. And her uncle was sleeping with her all the time and paying her father for sleeping with her. Oh, no. Yes. And she got so traumatized that, she couldn't stand the thought.
Blood
yes,
uncle,
yes.
like
her blood uncle, her father's brother, was sleeping with her. And eventually, her father decided to sleep with her as well.
Oh, no. What?
And when he slept with her, he made a statement and said, "I didn't know you were this sweet." Yes, it happened. And she had committed over 7 abortions for her father and her uncle. And her womb is destroyed. Her womb had to be taken out.
How old is she?
She's not up to 20.
Who does that?
So her womb had to be taken out. And she was so traumatized that she couldn't bear the thought of anybody touching her. And so it was when somebody touched her, she hit the person. And so that was the case of assault. And it was in the process that she was brought to the center, and she now opened up. And for her, life doesn't have any meaning. Anything can happen. Is it not life? What else is new? She's gone through all this, so it's taking us time to counsel her and let her know she can get over it. She can live, her life to the fullest the way she wanted to. But there's so many things that have happened.
Please, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
There's plaque in everybody's mouth. It forms every day. That is why we need to clean daily.
Back pain can be said to be a result of wear and tear.
Yeah, that's the
Raise one leg up and then try and pull it to your chest. Your head down. Just relax.
Some of these infections, particularly like tetanus right now, it's something where if the mother is immunized, the child is actually protected for the first 3 months.
Medicine from your kitchen. Today I want to share one tip with you, how you can use your coconut as medicine. Hi, my name is Edak, Willie. If you want to know how to stay healthy and fabulous, join me every week.
It
Chitoro, please tell us, from what you are saying, I have seen that it's more than just sex education. I mean, educating your child about this and that. What can we do to protect our children from these predators?
Well, you have to give them age-appropriate advice, because what you tell a child of 2, 3, 4 is different from what you tell a child of 10, 11. But the mothers also have to be very, very vigilant. You also have to teach our children what is the right touch. There's the right touch, there's the wrong touch. If you're touched in a way that you feel uncomfortable, say it. You also have to be close.
Don't even touch. Don't allow any touch.
Exactly, you know. But if it does happen, you have to have the lines of communication between you and your child must always be open. Your child has to feel free to talk to you about what happened in school, or what happened at the playground, what happened when she went out, when she was in the bus, or what happened in the car, because at times it's the driver that is abusing your child.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere. We've had cases of a child that, you know, her neighbor used to pick her from school, but there was a cousin in the house with her. Whenever this child comes back from school, she doesn't want to go up to her own apartment. She wants to stay downstairs. And the neighbor would try to force her to go upstairs to her house. She will refuse. But the issue was, why was she refusing to go upstairs? Children are not fools. They're very wise. They know when something wrong is going on. They might not say it the way they should say it, but they know when it is wrong. And so the community has to take responsibility. Perpetrators of rape and sexual assault do not come from outside. They don't come from the bush. They live with us. We know them. And we are the ones that actually try to minimize the impact. Without that community effort, it has to be a coordinated community effort. If it is not done, we'll continue to live in denial. Well, we should open our eyes and see what is going on right under our noses. And then we'll see, as I have seen, that a lot of the girls in Lagos State, on the streets, in schools, a lot of them are being abused right in their homes. And when they are abused in their homes, where they're supposed to be loved, how do you think that child is going to feel? What kind of society do we do? Exactly.
Yeah.
And when a child...
Whatever goes out, comes around.
That's it. If you think the other child that is being abused and you keep quiet, tomorrow it might be your time.
Yeah.
And
it's
so,
even a cycle, because when a child is abused, like you said, the other girl reacted violently.
Exactly.
Those are the kind of people we have in our society, and you cannot trace what happened.
that is it. And so you find a lot of them in prison for assault, and you do not know what happened. You don't know the child's history.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
And I'll certainly get you back, because it is such a broad topic that we need to do more and create more awareness. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll be right back. Medicine from your kitchen. Some of the things that you can use from your kitchen is water. Water, water, water. Today I want to show you how to take care of yourself. Is it after childbirth or maybe miscarriage and all that? This is how you can help heal. So first of all, you get boiled water. Get a bucket, boil water. This practice has been with us for a long, long time. Has been with our people for a long time. Get real hot water like that. Please sit on it. Sit very well. You cover yourself. And you cover it very, very well with another heavy blanket. Cover yourself. Just hot water, you don't need any other thing if it's just to heal the place. Just stay like that till the water gets cold. You're good to go, you do like that. Just do like that for 1 week. You'll heal. A lot of things will return to its normal place, especially for people that have put to birth. You cannot just push a child out and expect your body to be the same without doing any of this. That's what makes the difference. My name is Edak, Willie. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.